What up guys, Adrian from Your Motorcycle, and today's video is everything that you need to know about doing a chain drive conversion on your Sportster. I got help with this from the guys at xlforum.net. It's the world's biggest Sportster forum, and those guys are super knowledgeable and super reputable. So we came up with one list. It has basically 7 advantages of switching over to chain drive, 5 advantages of switching over to belt drive, but you're gonna find a lot of these maybe don't actually apply to you. So we're gonna look into it and you guys can decide which one's best for you. All right, so the first advantage of doing a chain drive conversion is if you want to get a fatter tire. Stock, a lot of Sportsters for like decades came with a 130 rear tire. That's actually pretty narrow by Harley standards. And one of the limiting factors, along with rim and some other stuff, is just how wide this belt is. Whereas if you went to a chain drive, look at how much narrower that piece of chain is. Look at how much more clearance that gives you. If you did want to go for a fatter tire, switching over to chain drive might be a good choice for you. The second reason you might want to switch to chain drive, some people believe that even without a fatter tire, chain drive Sportsters just look better. The Sportster is an old school motorcycle. It first came out in 1957. They've been making it every year since. And some people think putting a chain drive on a Sportster just keeps the motorcycle a little bit more true to its origins. So if you think so too, chain drive's for you. All right, the third reason why you might want to do chain drive is chains are heavier and stronger than Kevlar belts. It's not that Kevlar is bad, but if you're going to be spending a bunch of money into your Sportster's motor, if you're going to be trying to do track days, quarter mile times, drag racing, whatever, you definitely want to get the most bang for your buck by switching over to chain drive. For most of us, this doesn't really apply, but I still got to mention it. And there's always that 1 in a million chance of a weird stone bouncing the wrong way that could end up getting caught in the wrong place and cutting your Kevlar belt, versus on a chain, much less likely to happen. All right, the fourth reason why you might want to consider doing a Sportster chain drive conversion is, let's say your chain is broken, you're on the side of the road, you got a couple wrenches with you, you have a whole kit, whatever it is. Well, good news, there are little kits you can get for whatever size chain you have, and then you just, boom, put that back together, put the pins through, master link, your chain's in a whole loop again. Let me show you a better example. This is not a motorcycle chain, but you get it. There's your master link right there, hopefully it's in focus. You get a little master link set, you can reattach a chain and keep on rolling. When you have a belt, even if you have 2 wrenches, you're gonna have a whole new belt with you, because once that belt starts to break, you can't fix it. Fifth reason is final drive ratios. I could do a whole video on final drive ratios. It's really cool. It's the difference, for those who don't know, quick summary. It's the ratio between your front sprocket pulley, or sprocket I mean, and your rear one, and what that ratio is gonna affect your acceleration in all gears. It's also going to affect your top speed. So by playing around with that, you can give yourself a much higher max speed at the cost of less acceleration, or you can give yourself much faster acceleration but have less top speed. It's a lot easier to play around with this stuff if you have a chain, just because sprockets are a lot more readily available versus they're not going to necessarily have pulleys in stock. So if you do mess around with that stuff, if you do performance stuff, if you do track days, if you do that kind of thing, well, you can just run down to your corner local motorcycle shop, pick up a sprocket, try something different, run back 10 minutes later and buy another one. If you want to waste all your money doing that, you can do that a lot easier with chain drive. Now, one thing that a lot of people got wrong was they thought that belt drive is lighter because a belt weighs less than a chain, because chains are fairly heavy. But that's not really the case. So here's official Harley-Davidson part for a Sportster. This is a pulley. This is what your belt runs on. Look at the size of this thing. This thing is huge. This thing is heavy. This thing is very, very solid. This thing weighs a ton. Jesus. Long story short, chain drive overall lighter. Realistically, could you go to the gym for a month, lose 5 pounds, and pretty much be at the weight savings? Yep, totally 100%. But a lot of people like having a final drive ratio or final drive that just weighs less. So you might want to ditch the pulleys. Super close up of your speedo, because man, you are going to be going 5 times faster with chain drive. That is the 7th reason why you might want to switch to chain drive. And guess what? That is not true, because I don't even know what faster means to you, because it's going to mean something different to different people. To some people, faster is just acceleration. How quickly can I go from here to that red light, or here to that stop sign, or whatever it is. Some people, it just is top speed. If I'm in the middle of a highway, in the middle of nowhere in the desert, and I just go full throttle, what's the fastest I can bring this thing? To me, that's faster. Or to some people, it's just strictly power to weight ratio. How much weight can I take off of this thing so I get as much power for my pound as possible? And if power to weight ratio is your thing, by all means, yes, advantage number 7 is chain drive will make your Harley Sportster faster. However, if it's any of those other things, oof, you can get just as much effect from playing around with having different pulleys front and back for your belt to spin on. Likewise, you could change to chain drive, put the wrong size sprockets on there, and be technically slower by whatever your definition of faster is. It really all comes down to final drive ratio for the most part. Enough about chain drive and final drive ratio. I promise I won't mention again for the rest of the video. Let's talk about belt drive and the 5 advantages of belt drive and why you might want to actually consider keeping your belt on your Sportster. All right, so the first advantage of keeping belt drive on your Sportster is that, man, belt drives last forever. It's not unusual for them to last the entire lifespan of your motorcycle. They can commonly go 80,000 to 100,000 miles. Pretty wild. If you're really being anal and you're taking good care of your chain, 20,000 miles is not unrealistic. I've seen people who just neglect these things and they only get about 10,000 miles. I've seen people who really don't do much at all with their chain and they only get about 5,000 miles. Belt drive seems to be like a set it and forget it until your next oil change. Reason number 2 for keeping belt drive is not having to deal with any of this stuff right here. Cleaner, brush, lube. Every 2 times you fill up your gas tank, you're gonna wanna relube your chain. So you're gonna spray the heck out of it, brush, 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 brush. It's super, super sticky and super tacky and super dirty and grimy and gritty. And then you still have to get up, push the bike forward, sit back down again, because you can only clean so much in one section in one go. So then you gotta clean some more, spray some more, wipe some more, etc., etc. It takes forever. And then when you think you're done, oh wait, now my chain has no lube. Now you gotta pretty much do it all over again, except for the brushing, because you gotta lube everything. It takes forever and it just sucks the fun out of motorcycle riding. With belt drive, you don't have to worry about any of that crap. You just check your tension pretty much every time you change your oil, and God, like 4 times out of 5, your tension is fine. All right, so let's say you spent your half an hour cleaning and lubricating and you're off for a ride. Maybe it's the next day, so you've had time for the lube to settle. Third reason to keep belt drive is, guess what? Your Sportster is super fast now that you've switched to chain drive, right? Everyone told you how fast it was gonna be. Well, guess what? All of that speed, you're going down the highway, 275 miles an hour on your 883, and a lot of this lube, this is spinning so quickly that a lot of this lube is just gonna come off and it's gonna spray all over your sidewall, and it's gonna make a mess of your sidewall, it's gonna make a mess of your rim. Chain drive is messier because it has to be for it to function properly. Belt drive does not need lubrication, therefore belt drive is going to be cleaner. All right, and coming back around this way, the fourth reason why you might want to just stick with belt drive is belts tend to have a lot less driveline lash, so they tend to be a little bit smoother. Chains can be a little bit more jerky. Granted, this is about feeling, and some people are a little bit more sensitive to feelings and other people don't really care. So if you're the don't really care type, you can probably disregard this. But if you want your ride to be as smooth and as quiet as possible, belt drive is the way to go. All right, so obviously there's a ton of good reasons why keeping belt drive isn't so bad. 2 more super quickly. 1, when a belt does snap, it is not very likely to cause the same kind of damage that a chain snapping could do. 2, if you have a worn or ripped belt, you can probably replace just that for a lot cheaper than switching over to chain and sprockets. And if you're wondering why I haven't mentioned price until now, it's not by accident. It's just I don't know where in the world you're watching this video, so it doesn't make sense for me to comment on something that is going to be irrelevant anyway. So I'm leaving price completely out of it and focusing only on the facts. Last but not least, I do this full-time for a living, making content aimed at helping motorcyclists. If you found this helpful, all I ask is you guys hit the like button. That would really mean a lot to me. I would appreciate your support. If you do want to watch more videos aimed at helping motorcyclists, please hit subscribe. And along here, I'm going to post some videos to sports related content that I did, including like the most efficient way of doing an oil change. It's the quickest, most full video on YouTube, I promise you, right up there. And as always, ride safe, but have fun. If you have any comments, I'm still a small enough channel. I answer every single comment. Leave me your questions and comments down below. Thanks, guys. Peace. Bye-bye.